Does your AMD Ryzen suck? Freezing? Pausing? Stay tuned, because we're going to fix that. Hello tubers, have you got an AMD Ryzen system? It's been freezing, pausing, doing some weird, unusual stuff? Well, stick around, because we're going to go over all the basics, and we're also going to try out a few other little fixes that aren't commonly known. And yes, that is Nuka-Cola.
Alright guys, we're going to start off with the basics here. So this is a fairly easy fix, this first one. We're just going to right click the desktop, just going to go down to here where it says display settings. Right from here on the left hand side, power and sleep. So that's where you want to go. Okay, this one here is an easy one. In general, it's going to be in the middle, quite possibly on the low end, but more than likely in the middle. All you're going to do is increase that, and we're going to go to best performance. For some people this actually does work, for others it doesn't do anything at all. For me it did absolutely nothing, but there are quite a few Ryzen owners that said that yeah, increasing it to best performance did work for them. Now another setting in here that is a little bit hidden, you want to go to the additional power settings on the right hand side. When you click on that, you'll have the actual power plans in here. We've got currently on the AMD RYZEN Balance, which for me that works fantastic. What you want to do is change the plan settings just at the top here. So when you're in there, you go to change advanced power settings. Okay, now we go down to where it says PCI Express. Now for whatever weird reason, this does affect some people. This actually did help me in my freezing issue. So we're going to change that link state power management setting, so moderate power savings, actually turn that to off. Right, so we're not going maximum power settings, we're not going moderate power savings, we're going to off. So just turn that to off, hit apply, okay. Alright, that one actually did work for me. It did reduce some of the stuttering that I was receiving.
1 hour later.
Okay, so the next one that we're going to go over is hard drives. Now for me this sorted out a lot of my pausing, freezing sort of issues that I was having. Originally had Windows 10 installed on one of these Kingston 480GB SSDs. Relatively quick. Absolutely nothing wrong with the drive, but for some weird reason yeah, it just caused stuttering issues when I had Windows 10 installed on it. I actually went to this one here, but the 256GB version. It's a Samsung 970 EVO Plus M.2 drive. Now if your motherboard doesn't support an M.2 drive, you just have to wipe this one out entirely. But yeah, for me this sorted out a major part of the freezing and stuttering, pausing issues that I was having in Windows 10, especially like trying to go through menus and start menus, things like that. It sorted a lot of that issue that I was having just by going to an M.2 drive.
Alright guys, this next pausing issue is a bit of an oddity, and it took me ages to work this out. Basically the onboard RGB lighting on your motherboard. Now this affects mainly the MSI boards and Gigabyte boards. Previously did have an MSI board installed, and it was a pain in the where. Basically I had my RGB lights, so the front panel lights and everything else connected to the motherboard, and I was running the software through the motherboard to control all the RGB lights. That caused frequent pausing just at the most odd times. It was very, very strange. Now one way that I temporarily got around this with the MSI board, I'm currently running an ASUS board at the moment, but basically what you want to do is turn it off. So on this one here we've got the Aura on and off, so click on that one and just basically Aura off, and that will turn off the lights. Now if you do have your RGB lights connected to one of the RGB connectors, unplug, so take them out. And see if that makes any difference. For me it made the world of difference, but in the end MSI had a few BIOS updates as well, and I ended up just selling the motherboard I did RMA it once and it came back. It did improve it slightly, but yeah, basically in the end I ended up changing motherboards and I haven't had the issue since.
No sir, I don't like it.
This fix for the Ryzen came in more of the form of a Windows update. So in version 1903 of Windows, they fixed the Windows scheduler. This was mainly for the AMD RYZEN processors. This helped a lot of people to sort out their strange issues, like freezing, pausing, all that sort of stuff. So if you haven't got it, go to this website here. What I'm going to do is leave a link to the website in the description below, so just click on that link and that'll send you straight to this page. Hit on the update now if you've already got Windows, and you can also do a fresh installation as well. Okay guys, so we're getting towards the end of the video. This is the last fix that I have for you fellas. Basically with this one, it was another odd one, and it could be affecting some people in gameplay, so when you're playing your video games and things like that. It didn't affect my system in any other way unless I was in-game or running a benchmark. So I upgraded from 2400 MHz memory to 3200 MHz memory. When I did this, what I noticed is that in some games it could cause weird pausing issues, and it could also crash, but not a hard crash, just a soft crash, out of the game, back to the desktop. And the same thing would happen in, say, like benchmarks, like superposition benchmark and things like that. Basically, what I did to test it, all I did was go into the GeForce software, and because I have a gigabyte card, and basically I downclocked the GPU slightly, ran the tests again with the 3200 MHz memory, and it ran fine. If I'd run it at the normal clocks, not overclocked at all, but just the normal clocks on the video card, it would crash, it would, do odd things like that, pause and all that sort of thing. But if I changed back from the memory speed, if I changed it back down from the 3200 MHz down to the 2400 MHz, it would run completely fine, the GTX 1070 at stock speeds. So this was another odd one. I ended up compromising and just staying with the 2400 MHz memory and leaving the GTX 1070 clocked at the standard rate, but not overclocked at all. So this might help some of you guys if you're running the faster memory speeds. If you slow it down, do some testing again and see if that works, and or downclock your video card. I'm not entirely sure why the memory speed is affecting the video card so much, but yeah, it was just another one of those odd little things that I came across in my testing.
Alright chibies, come to the end of the video. Probably absolutely zero help, but hey, might have helped somebody. Guys and gals, if this video helped you, please consider smashing that like button, helping out the channel a little bit. Consider subscribing if you like this sort of content. And hey, we'll catch you in the next one.